threw a right kick. As the kick came back, he had a left hook loaded and boom, threw the left hook and flatlined Suablack, full of just absolute killers by. So basically the owner is this wealthy businessman. When you see him on one, he's always in the corner, and whenever his fighters win, he gets up on the side of the ring and he has so much like medallions and gold rings, and he always wears his denim jacket. He's a gangster by. Like you see it with Thai boxing before one. The Thais were just dominating it, right? Did you watch One Championship on the Friday night?
No, and I said I was gonna. Didn't watch it.
A lot of fights to watch in one weekend, to be fair.
Yeah, but I don't know. I actually, do you know what? Again, I completely forgot about it. And I follow one on Instagram, but
you missed out, boy.
Yeah, it was a great card.
Do they put up much like when the fights are happening? Do you know the UFC? Your timeline be fucking flooded.
Yeah.
I was because
they put up clips, alright, definitely.
Went out of my head completely, and then I was just going and like I didn't see it, and so I was like, it just didn't come back in.
Yeah, it was a good card. There was a lot of, again, like always in one.
Superlek, did he won? Did he?
Superlek won. It was to be honest now, like, so Superlek was the co-main, but he kind of, it looked like he was cruising it in the fight. Like he was still shit hot, very sharp, beautiful technique, but I don't think he came out of second gear. I think he, again, like my kind of thought is that he wanted to get some rounds in while he's waiting for the Haggerty fight, and he actually said in an interview afterwards, I heard him say, true translation, obviously because I don't speak Thai, that him and Kongthoranee are friends, and that was like a friendly fight.
Oh, okay.
That, so
like an old spar of a thing.
But the Thais are so funny because they do it so much, and they're training from such a young age, and they're sparring so much that they can literally go in and have a fight that, like, if you watch it, you're like, that's a fucking fight, and the boys would be like
coasting. Buddies.
Yeah, like Bohic fought Saenchai in a bare knuckle fight on BKFC, and the boys went at it, like they were lumps taken out of them at the end, but they're buddies playing soccer with each other. Then like they play football on the weekend.
Couldn't do it, but I don't think.
Yeah, it's different.
You.
No, I couldn't do it to you.
No, I don't think fellas who don't, like Thais are so unique in the fact they train from so young.
It's so normal.
They're so used to fighting with their friends, and they probably have fought each other in the stadiums numerous times. Now, Bohic and Saenchai were very different weight categories when they were fighting, but I imagine they got paid.
And they're probably thinking they were both getting paid.
They got paid a lot, I'd say, for that. But if you scoot down the card there a bit, Rob, so we start, because I went through them and there was like some really good fights. So Tyson Harrison was the first one that I was very interested in, and Tyson's the Australian kid that we spoke about who shot himself in his previous fight.
So
big.
He's really big, really tall, and I don't know why he fights the way he does, because he like really looks to push and pressure and be in very close range when he's so long.
And
like,
rangy,
he's very rangy.
Pick him off.
Yeah, but he looks like when I was watching that fight, like he smothered a lot of his work, and he gave Sibmuen some chance as well to counter with elbows and to land some nice strikes on the inside.
Yeah.
But good performance and a good win for Tyson Harrison to get back in the winners' column. And then you had Pakorn PK Saenchai and Rafi Bohic. So Rafi and Pakorn have fought previously, and Rafi won that fight by decision in just normal Thai boxing. It was Pakorn's debut on the One Championship roster, and he fucking landed with a bang. He knocked Rafi out in the first round. So caught his kick, and
he's a funny looking fucker, by isn't he?
Yeah, he does. He looks, I don't know, that's a new enough haircut.
PK Saenchai, he's like a man off holes, by.
He's an OG.
He's an OG, but
And PK Saenchai is in Bangkok as well.
The other fella looks like Cody Garbrandt a bit there on the small picture.
Yeah, again, very, very questionable hairstyles from both the lads, but really good Thai boxers. And I think Rafi's style doesn't translate into the One Championship kind of style because of the smaller gloves. And Pakorn made some good adjustments. Like I watched, like in the fight, he was doing some head movement, setting up his shots. He wasn't just doing a typical kind of Thai style, which would be high guard, head kind of stays on the centre line. But it's great to see someone at that stage of their career now in the One Championship roster. I don't know what they'll probably do with him next, because a lot of the younger guys coming up, it would be tough to see him get the wins. But he's been fighting, over in Japan and winning a lot of fights. But yeah, be interesting to see where he goes next. And a very good knockout, very good performance for his first one in. PK Saenchai gym is full of just absolute killers. So basically the owner is this wealthy businessman. So he owns something called PK Stereo, which is like a electrical store that's all over Thailand. And if you look at this fella, he's the funniest character.
And all their names are just something PK.
PK Saenchai, yeah. So in Thailand they'd always been named after the gyms, but PK is obviously the name of his company, and then Saenchai is the fighter, like one of the most famous Thai fighters. Everyone's heard of him, right? So him and this guy, Saenchai is his name, they opened the gym, and when you see him on one, he's always in the corner, and whenever his fighters win, he gets up on the side of the ring, and he has so much like medallions and gold rings, and he always wears his denim jacket. He's a gangster,
Proper.
He'd be straight into
You can tell by their social media that there's bit of money there.
Yeah, well, Saenchai made so much money in his career, and your man is a businessman, successful businessman, so they lumped money in. They basically got a lot of the biggest superstars in Thailand to be all fighting out of the same gym. The next fight we had in the card was Shadow. Shadow fought the French fighter Jimmy Vienot, and it was a really good fight again. So Shadow's kicks, his right kick was just thundering through by, and so powerful. And Jimmy done well, like he was trying to be active, trying to close the distance, but anytime he got into range, Shadow was just smashing that big right kick in and moving him. It was a good fight, and it was actually, for me, when I watched that, I was just thinking how well the Irish guy Eric Ayre did against him in his last fight, because Shadow is so powerful and had a dominant win against someone that a lot of people thought probably would have beat him. So
did he knock him out?
No, didn't. Decision. He won decision, yeah. A unanimous decision, was it?
Knockout round 1.
No, Shadow.
No, that's Shadow. You looked at Pakorn.
Round 3 decision.
Decision, yeah, unanimous decision. And then we had
Announce that now.
Go on, give it a go.
I can't even barely
Petchtanong. Go on, Rob, with your tie.
Petchtanong, sorry.
There was a funny finish to that one, to the Petchtanong and Ramazanov fight. So something happened, Ramazanov's foot, and he kind of stopped. He got caught with a few shots, and then he kind of was pointing at his foot, and Ricky Sewell, the referee, was counting. Oh, well, he asked him to fight. He said, "Do you want to continue?"
No.
Your man walked away, and he started counting. He got to 9. Your man was just shaking his head. So, but he called it off, but he was kind of on. He was on the way down anyway. He was after getting lit up a bit up against the ropes before the finish.
I actually watched it back a few times because I
see what happened.
Was there any explanation? No, it was the way.
No, I didn't see anything anyway.
He's the strangest fighter as well. Doesn't look like he's in any way athletic.
No, he doesn't.
Literally, no. I think he actually looks like a snooker player or something.
He looks like a caretaker. Yeah. His body type as well. He's not very defined or muscular.
No, this is off topic now, but quickly. Do you know who else is the most one of the most deceiving fighters ever as well? Is fucking Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah,
does not look like a fighter
well,
at all.
that cunt just doesn't make weight. So
proper chubby and shit, but he's smashed at a bit.
But the fact then that he doesn't make weight and he's chubby just doesn't do well for him, because it just looks like he does.
Even Joe Rogan and the boys on Fight Companion were saying if he just went, he's supposed to be fighting at 170 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
well, he does he fight? Oh, it's 185.
Or even one lower again.
Yeah, 155. Yeah,
he'd definitely be a champ. But
that was always the thing with Ryan Nelson as well.
Yeah,
the guy was just so overweight and fighting at heavyweight. But that was it was a strange finish, but I think again, good win for Petchtanong. Petchtanong, go on, Rob, give us it again. Petchtanong. Suablack fought Nabati in the next fight, and Nabati had won by jumping knee knockout a few years back, and I could feel when I was watching it that Suablack knew he was in there with a fella that had knocked him out previously. It was like he was a little bit tentative, and Nabati's very, kind of very light on the feet, in and out, and has power, and he won by a very beautiful sequence. So he threw a right kick, and as the kick landed, so as the kick came back, he had a left hook loaded, and boom, threw the left hook and flatlined Suablack. And it's a very similar knockout to, you see it a lot lately, the left hook strike, but there was actually a very similar way that he set it up, was how Alex Pereira knocked out a guy before he got to the UFC. I think his name is Christian Powell or something Powell. Yeah. He knocked a guy out with the same setup. So threw the right kick, as the right kick landed, he had the hook loaded up, boom, threw the hook and knocked him out. That was a scary one, but your man was out for about 5 minutes, out cold. Not Suablack, no, but the guy Powell who Pereira knocked out. But again, I think Nabati is one to look out for, and one now he's in the bantamweight division. So
a lot of rematches by in there. A lot of these fellas have fought each other before.
Yeah. Well, again, by the Thai boxing, they fight so much.
Yeah, a load of them here. It's like what they fought before.
And then we spoke already about Superlek had a great win. Yeah. Looked like he was cruising it. And in the main event, the two smaller fellas, the flyweights, absolute, 5 rounds of just back and forth, non-stop action. So Prajanchai got the win, but when I was watching it, it was a close fight. They gave me a unanimous decision, but I thought it was a lot closer than that. And I thought as well that Prajanchai, so obviously with kickboxing, like we said, you can't clinch, right? But Prajanchai, every time they came close, Prajanchai was grabbing and throwing a knee. And then Ricky Sewell would break him, and Ricky Sewell actually gave him a warning in the second round about throwing the knee when they were clinched up, but he kept doing it. So
after the warning?
Yeah, he kept doing it. I don't know, is that something that the judges should take into consideration? It wasn't as blatant as I don't know if Ricky Sewell could have given him a point deduction or something, because Jonathan DeBella was also, it was like, you know, they'd grab on, but then you could see Prajanchai wanted to clinch.
Yeah.
It was just his natural reaction. But look, a good win for him. He's now a two sport champion in one. But I would love, like, off the back of that fight now as well, like seeing that, I'd love if one done with the striking what they do with the grappling. So instead of having the kickboxing and the Muay Thai, just do like a striking rule set where you have everyone has to wear MMA gloves.
Yeah.
You can clinch, you can elbow, and just have, you know, any striker can be in it. Because even with the kickboxing, to be honest, when you're watching the Thai boxing MMA gloves and the kickboxing comes on, it's a bit like of a buzzkill.
Yeah, with the big gloves and
Yeah,
stuff.
the bigger
Chopping and
gloves,
changing
no
back and
elbows.
forth.
Yeah, I think it's better if they just have striking is MMA gloves and like the Thai boxing rule set, because it's the most, you know, the most variety.
Knees
and
elbows and all
everything.
sorts.
Like you can strike with anything. Then you have the submission grappling, and then you have MMA, and that would be 3 different sports under the one banner.
Yeah.
Rather than, I think the kickboxing, I don't know what their reasoning for it is either. Right, they have the kickboxing in big gloves, the Muay Thai in small gloves. When I think clearly, if you look at the kind of the way the fans are going, like everyone loves the Thai boxing in MMA
It's
gloves.
more dangerous, like.
So much more entertaining. Like it's not as, again, it's probably, you could argue, not as skillful as a normal Thai boxing fight where you have to work to land the strikes, but it definitely makes for entertaining watching.
Do you think it benefits the Thais, the smaller gloves, and having everyone not conform to the Thai boxing style? Like you have all these Russian lads now coming in and the French lads with their kickboxing style.
No, I would say that with the MMA gloves, it makes it more of an open division, right? If you had like you see it with Thai boxing before one, the Thais were just dominating it, right? There was more and more Westerners that were able to compete at the top level, but the majority of the best fighters in the world were always Thai boxing, and in one they still are. Like, you know, I think just prior to one becoming a big thing, the Westerners were always, if they were going to beat the Thais, it was with the boxing. The Westerners would win by having better hands and maybe dropping them or winning by knockout. So I think the Thais were already starting to learn that they needed to kind of change that style, where they were always leaning a lot more towards kicks and teeps and clinching, and the boxing wouldn't have been very strong. But now I think they're after learning that they have to also have good boxing. But it's, look, a lot of good cards coming up now in one. And again, I think that if people are still unaware of how entertaining it is, just tune into a Friday Night Fights, because they're free. Sky Sports YouTube channel, give it a watch, and I guarantee you, if you watch one of the cards, you'll be sold on it. That's to you as well.
I know that
watch one of the cards.
That actually is to me. Is there one this Friday?
I don't know because they've done that kind of big one. That it's usually every Friday, but if there's a big card on, they might take a week break.
Definitely try and do a watch along for something as well.
That would be sick.
If the people out there listen to this would like to see it, let us know. Guys, leave a comment. We could even wait until there's like another Saudi card. I know it's at like a normal time or whatever. Or the Manchester one could be good.
The Manchester one's at fucking 6 o'clock.
Fight night 23, 4 days, 6 hours time.
Yeah.
Oh, the Manchester card.
It's on the US time. Yeah.
What the fuck? I completely forgot about that.
So
what are they doing that for? They're doing the UFC in Manchester and they're making the boys fight at fucking 2 a.m.
Yeah. Sure, everyone's giving up because they're saying.
But sure, that's the whole reason they come there is every now and then the European boys are like, oh, this is mate now. Yeah. But like, how are the fighters even gonna?
I just think it makes sense financially for them to get the US pay-per-views.
That's fucking. But
even
sure, you know, they're greedy cunts because they're complaining that they have to watch it at 12 in the day.
Yeah.
We have to fucking watch them all at 4 or 5 in the morning. 12 in the day, one card. They can't.
But it's also a big disadvantage for like Tom Aspinall now.
Of course it is, because they're accustomed to UK time.
Yeah.
They're cheeky cunts by them.
And Edwards as well. Yeah. But it'll still be a great card, and I'm not going to stay up for it.
No, but it's not going to be 4 or 5. Surely
it's the exact same time as any other pay-per-view. So I think Tom Aspinall will be doing
fight at 4.
Yeah, like 5 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Yeah, which is the main event for that? Is it Aspinall or is it Edwards? It's Edwards, isn't it? Yeah. And
but that doesn't, like, surely you'd think they'd be like, not a hope.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would they agree to that?
Well,
I'm going to fight at 5 in the morning.
I would have been very pissed off if I was them, and I imagine there was some pushback, but
there must have been. Like,
UFC just said, fuck you. Like, I know, so if you're Edwards, the only argument to that was if they said to Edwards, look, we can guarantee you X amount of pay-per-view buys versus this amount of pay-per-view buys.
He's getting points. That doesn't make sense. But even still, like, fighting in the middle of the night.
I think what would be good, because we watched the Peyton Talbot knockout there.
Yeah.
I think it's sick if we can get some reactions to people that are listening. Like, I imagine there's some fighters listening. If any fighter who listens to this, or if you have friends who are fighters that have some knockouts on YouTube,
do we have
MMA,
an email
Thai
or
boxing,
we'll just DM us on Instagram or something. DM us on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's an easy
We're going to do reactions to anyone out there who wants to send us in a finish, we'll put it up, we'll watch it, we'll react to it. I'll give you my very experienced critique on
you saw Peyton Talbot.
what not to do.
You were the one who spotted Peyton Talbot.
Yeah, I spotted that prospect. So I'll let Dana know if there's anyone out there worth it.
But yes, that'd be a good one to do, to watch the reactions. That's it for this week. So we will say goodbye to you all and tune in next week for episode 6.
Yeah.
Whoop. Have a good week, everyone.
Peace out.